Hello, fellow StarCraft fanatics. Squiggles here, bringing you another cast for your enjoyment. This game is going to be on Metalopolis, and it's going to feature Butterfly, the red Protoss in the top of the map, versus a Zerg. Excuse me, and I don't speak Korean, so I don't know who that is. But getting some water, that's delicious. But this is on the Korean server, and it was one of the top games on StarCraft or SC2 replays, so I'm assuming it's going to be a good game. I have not seen it yet, but we will have to see. Now, one thing that I like to look at really quick is if you look at his, whoa, see, he's able to turn around before, sorry, before that makes you guys sick. We'll go back to the everyone cam. But he's able to scout the Protoss and not reveal where he's at. So a lot of times what Protoss will do is they'll send a probe at a certain time and they'll just go boop and check to see, but it does not look like a Butterfly is going to do that, even though he is a decided Bala. And he is going to be making a pylon there and then a forge, so we're going to be looking at a fast expand. That's a decent choice because of how far these spawn points are, but just this map in general is big. It's kind of a, I think he decided to do that after scouting this area, and as soon as he saw that the Zerg was not in this spawn point, he was like, okay, he's going to be far away, I can get an early expo. The Zerg, meanwhile, is as well getting an early expansion up before he goes for a spawning pool, very standard on bigger maps when you're in far away spawn positions. And now he's going to be scouting. Nope, he's going to be punching that drone, and by drone I mean probe. The drone is going to punch the probe. Holy crap, probe, look out. Wow, there's he is in the wrong part of town. Goodness gracious. Go back to your own side, Probey. And look at this. He's going to trap him with the drone so the probe cannot even escape. And this drone is out for blood, and the probe actually has to stay off of the creep because otherwise he will be able to be run down. And he's going to try to get away, and he does get away. It looks like he went right through that drone. That means that he may have clicked on a mineral patch, which will just make workers go through other units even if they're blocking a ramp or whatever. So he's going to continue expanding and scouting, and by continue expanding I mean he's going to expand. And there's the Zergy, and he spots it all, and I'm going to be interested to see. He's going to get a, ooh, see, this is a very nice wall. So in order for the Zerg to do any kind of harass, he's going to have to either get mutas and go right there, or he's going to have to get Zerglings, which are, or roaches or whatever, which are more common, and go around here and over here and then back down here, which is really annoying, especially when you put cannons like here or here, but probably here. Yeah, because this is able to guard, the cannon will be able to guard all these mineral patches, so that'll shut down a lot of harass and really make his main quite safe. So that is why you get a forge first before you go Nexus, because then you can get these cannons out and you can be safe from any kind of early harass. Speaking of early harass, this probe, who's done so good at staying alive, looks like he is finally going to bite the dust. There he goes, and down he goes, and here comes the Zerglings, and look at the timing on this cannon, finishing perfectly right when the Zerglings get to his front. So very good timing on that. The Nexus finishing, and he has a gateway, and he's starting his Cybernetics core. So core a little bit late, obviously, because he went expansion first, but it looks like these, okay, these Zerglings are going to do their level best to be annoying, but the Protoss Butterfly is keeping his workers on these mineral patches right here, so he is not even going to be able to do really any harassment. If there was probes over here, he may be able to pick one off, and it looks like maybe there will be probes there now. Yep, there he is. These are on hold position. They're not even going to be attacking right now, and it looks like the Protoss is going to get out a Stalker, which is going to chase these guys away. But this cannon, look at this, great coverage on this cannon. Yep, and there he goes, moving it away, so that these Zerglings have a harder time. Meanwhile, it looks like the Zerg is going to take the gold. He's not messing around, man. He is going for it, taking that gold. And here comes a pylon, so he's going to be able to warp in units here if he wants to and avoid the detection that the Zerg has at the front. And here's the Stalker. It is out, and it is going to be chasing these Zerglings away. Zerglings, you are no longer wanted here. And he's able to kill 2 Zerglings, and the third one is going to run home to the tavern and tell his buddies about the crazy stuff that he saw at work today. well, if he actually gets there, it looks like he might in fact die. Oh, is there going to be any stories at the tavern? I really want to know. It looks like there, wow, no, there won't be. No one is going to know. Wow, Butterfly was intent on keeping people from knowing that. And here comes out 4 gateways, plus the one here is going to be 5 gateways, and he's chrono boosting out the warp gate research. So, wow, we're going to see a lot of units coming out from Butterfly in the near future. Meanwhile, the hatchery is done at the gold, and if this hatchery is able to stay up for any kind of time at all, then the Zerg is going to get a huge econ lead. It looks like Butterfly pushing out toward the front. He may actually take out this Overlord, which would be quite a big deal. The Queen coming out. Wow, to say, no, screw you, you cannot do it. And the Stalker who, you know, he respects the ladies. He's gonna graciously back up for the time being. Okay, looking over, we'll see some just normal stuff coming up. A couple of sentries, so he's going to use the sentries to cut the army in half. And also with these warp gates, he's going to be able to reinforce his army right here, which is awesome. So it looks like he's going to take control of the Zelnaga Watchtower, but not before the Zerg sees exactly what kind of units are coming his way. And that is a lot of sentries. Sentries do not really do damage, but they are good at cutting things in half and making impassable terrain where there was currently no terrain, thus turning the tides in the Protoss' favor. So it looks like we're going to see, okay, there are some Zealots. We have Zealots and Stalkers, some damage-dealing units, and a pylon going down there as well. Able to snipe off that creep tumor. That's good. That will slow the expansion of creep. But as of now, the Zerg has Roaches out and Zerglings, and he does have the 3rd with a Spine Crawler, so he is in super-duper tippity-toppity shape. And we're going to have to see what the Protoss is going to do in order to counter this. It looks like he is going to warp in a ton of Stalkers, and these Stalkers with these sentries are going to be really good. Now we're going to have to see if he can cut these Roaches in half and win that first battle, and then maybe put some pressure on this hatchery. But really, it's a time-sensitive thing, because every second that this hatchery is up, the Zerg is getting farther and farther ahead economically, so the Protoss really has to do something. And here he comes, and we're going to have to see where these force fields lie. And the Zerg knows that he has sentries, and he's being very careful, poking forward, pulling back, and really he's just doing good defensive delay tactics, keeping his expansion up as long as possible. And there comes the Queen coming out, so he does have a Queen at his expansion as well. I think he has a Queen at every expansion. Let me just check real quick. Yes, he does. He also has Hydras coming out, and the +1 range attack, +1 ranged attack for his units. Meanwhile, we have Immortals coming out. It looks like, ooh, Burrow going to be researched as well, and a ton of Roaches coming out, and Tunneling Claws. So Roaches are going to be able to burrow and maybe just go right underneath these armies and pop up on top of them. And there's 1 force field, 2 force fields, able to kill 1 Roach, but this Zerg player is being very careful with his Roaches, does not want to lose them all. He knows the power of force fields, and the Protoss is just continuing to mass up units, and we're going to have to see. He has 105 supply versus the 134 of the Zerg. Wow, the Zerg is macroing his little heart out, and he is going mainly Roaches, and by mainly I mean only. And here comes the force fields, and there's the cutting in half of the army that I was talking about. Now we're going to have to see if the Protoss can indeed... Oh, he burrowed. Very nice. He burrows, and the Protoss does not have any detection, so he's not able to do anything. Meanwhile, the Tunneling Claw is not quite done yet. So now the Protoss is kind of in a weird spot. It doesn't look like he has any more energy, and he's going to force more, and then he's going to burrow down. Roaches also have increased regeneration when they're burrowed. It looks like the Protoss is going to be pulling ahead in this, though, and he does have out an Observer finally, so the Tunneling Claws and the burrow is not going to be as effective, although for counterattacking and maybe going someplace, the Tunneling Claws may be okay. We're going to have to wait and see. It looks like speed coming down now for Zerglings, and just a ton of Roaches coming out for the Zerg player. And it looks like the Zerg player at 146 versus the 111 of the Protoss. So despite losing some Roaches there, he is still way ahead. If we look at the income tab, we can see that the Zerg is indeed getting quite a bit more income. Although the workers are similar, you just get so much more money having this gold base, and he is continuing to hold it. So the Protoss is going to try to do this, and look at this. Some burrowed Roach is going to come up here and try to shut down this expansion, but really at the front, this is where all the action is, and we do have a lot of force fields going down here. Going to do a decent job of cutting this army in half and killing some more Roaches, and this observer here going to make sure that no burrow shenanigans are happening. And look at this. Because stalkers actually have a greater range than roaches, they're able to do increased damage. And now the stalkers and the immortals in the back of the arm are doing terrible damage. Oh man, I sounded like I sounded like a certain developer there for a second. But it looks like the Protoss will be winning this fight. It's going to all come down to how well the Zerg can reinforce. Doing a decent job, streaming quite a few units. Let's go back to the protection tab. We can see, looks like a lot of roaches, and here comes the workers out doing their best to hold this, and looks like he will hold, and we have hydras and roaches and a queen coming out to hold this, and it looks like robotics bay coming out, so he's going to be getting Colossus. Quite a good decision. Meanwhile, and I'm sorry I didn't see that, but I was busy focusing on the main battle, this small group of units right here able to take out the Protoss expansion and keep him on 2. Meanwhile, the Zerg doing a great push right now, actually taking out quite a few units. He wants to take out that Immortal if at all possible, because if that Immortal goes down, that is the real damage dealer in that army, and it does go down. And now he's pushing forward. I don't know if this is overextending or not. Lots of stalkers here, and he may want to pull back. It looks like he's going to continue to push, though. He's really pushing his advantage. And look at this, reinforcing with a ton of units, and it looks like finally he is going to stop. He's going to burrow, and he's going to take out this Forge if he can. That outrages the cannons, and the Forge going down so fast. Now he's going to be attacking more, and this could open up the main for a possible attack. And no, Butterfly is just going to GG. He knows he's behind, and that is game.